Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show with a very happy Greg Tepper. The floor is yours, bud. You've waited a long time and watched a lot of bad baseball for this one.
Longtime viewers of the show may remember that for a long time, our episode number, we would pick a number related to a Texas Rangers player.
Mm-hmm.
I think people know this, that the Texas Rangers are essentially the only sports team I care about.
Yeah.
Like, it was on December 7th, 1988. December 7th, 1988. Nolan Ryan, then 42 years old, signed a deal with the Texas Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
That was December 7th, 1988. On December 8th, 1988, my family invested in season tickets for the Texas Rangers because we were certain that the Texas Rangers were going to the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
That was, do some quick math here, 35 years ago. And so last night was, if you didn't know, the Texas Rangers, and I'm not sure if I've said this out loud yet, but the Texas Rangers won the World Series last night in what can only be described as a shocking development in the sports world. My entire sports life and sports existence has been defined by waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yep.
And I don't know what to do when the shoe doesn't drop. Like, I woke up Hank, who is named after a Rangers third baseman, for the bottom of the ninth.
Which we can now officially admit.
For the bottom of the ninth. For the bottom of the ninth. And I did wait. It was a 5-run lead in the ninth. I did wait until they had an out. Because I was like, oh, if they walked the leadoff guy, you never know. But I ran upstairs and I got him, and we had that moment together. And it was just a lot. There was champagne. Still gives me hangovers. I'm happy to admit. And I don't know. It's so weird. I don't know what to do with my hands. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to do with my emotions. There were a lot of tears last night. It's my brother texted me last night after the game, and he said, I didn't expect to be thinking about like Arlington Stadium, and yeah, it's like it's in my family's bones, and so last night was really. It's really special for a lot of people, and it's going to be special for a long time. And I won't apologize for it. It's pretty darn cool. One last thing, and then I want to hear about your evening. There's so much about it. I mean, Josh Sborz pitched had a 7-out save for the World Series. What? They handed the trophy to the owner. They handed the trophy to the Rangers. Mm-hmm. And I just started laughing as if they had made a hilarious mistake. Look at that. They accidentally gave the World Series trophy to the Texas Rangers. The baseball with a cowboy hat on it. No, that belongs to somebody else. It's been a wild couple of hours here, and it's been awesome. Now, you had an adventure yourself last night.
Yeah. So Mallory and I were sitting on our couch and we're watching the game, and it was really cool, obviously, to be in the presence of the Queen of Arlington, Texas herself.
Oh yeah, Agtown Queen.
But we sat there and we watched it, and obviously it was crazy. And I had found some pictures of me and my family at what was then Globe Life
mm-hmm.
Park, in the 2011 season when we had come all the way up from Llano to come watch a game, with the hopefulness of that year. And so that was really cool. And then, so for those who don't know, my boyfriend and I are long distance, and he is a massive Rangers fan. Rivals you for some of the biggest Rangers fans that I know. And so I had told him that if they won, that I would make the trek over to Academy and wait in the line to be able to get the shirts that night. And he was like, well, you don't have to go. And it's like, no, if you're going to get a shirt, you might as well just do it that night.
Do it that night. Yeah.
So Mallory was a trooper, and she goes, man, I'll go with you. So Mallory and I, the moment that game ended, we watched a little bit of the celebration. We hopped in the car. We went to Academy, stood in line for about 45, 50 minutes out in the cold, but we were able to FaceTime some of the guys down in Houston and see what shirts they wanted, and we went in and got the shirts, and so it was a blast. I'm glad that we did it. Horns honking, Creed, everyone playing Higher by Creed. So we're in the line, and there's just this replay of Creed being played with everybody's trucks and the windows open, and Let's Go Rangers chants, and it was really cool, and it was cool to be up here in the DFW when that was going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Baseball has been, and this team has been a connective tissue for my family for generations. And so last night was a lot. And I'm also so glad they won it, so that I don't have to be sweating on Friday night for Game 6.
Yes. Yeah, we...
Oh, my God. I was like, oh, my God. Like there were so many thoughts that would go through your mind. Mm-hmm. And one of them, after about 20 minutes, was like, oh, they don't have to play Friday.
Yes.
Oh, it's over.
Yes, we said the exact same thing, because we're obviously working with a group of college kids that are very much interested in the game, and trying to keep a whole crew of people that want nothing more to watch that game focused would have been awful.
Had a lot of text messages last night.
Yes.
A lot of friends reached out, including a number, because folks know I went to school in Missouri, and my wife is a St. Louis Cardinals fan. She's very happy for the Rangers too, to be clear. She was very, very happy for them. But I got a number of text messages from my friends who are Cardinals fans who are like, I'm glad you got it, buddy. I'm glad. We've
been worried about you for the past 12 years.
With a glass of champagne in my hand last night, I did have some choice words for David Freese. So, anyway, there was, if you haven't heard the call of Eric Nadel,
it's awesome.
on the final out, it's really good. And I tweeted this, but he's long been a proxy for Rangers fans. Mm-hmm. He's represented in a lot of ways, just like the fan. And it was like the call is like, he calls a third strike, and then he just says, it's over. It's over. Mm-hmm. And it's all catharsis. And super cool. Go Rangers. Hit the theme, Expo. Pickle! Hit the arrow sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a show that was up late last night and had to text each other and say, I'm going to be late. My name is Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine, TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the places, or you'll listen to the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part. Support your local mediocre internet show. I'm sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She's our Josh Spores.
That's a high compliment.
She's Ashley Pickle.
One that you might have doubted coming in, but finished pretty strong. That's actually pretty stinking accurate.
When I could finally form a cogent thought this morning, I was like, Josh Spores pitched a 7-out save in a World Series clincher. He had an ERA in the 5s.
I literally kept looking at Mallory, and I was like, Leclerc?
The-
and then I was like, Leclerc? We don't need Leclerc.
They just kept doing it. And like I kept waiting for that too. And then you look up and there's 2 outs in the ninth, and you're like, wait a second.
What happened?
Anyway, we're all getting statues. Today is Thursday, November 2nd, 2023. 3 weeks from Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving season. Things couldn't be better. Happy birthday to Lord. I don't know who was born today. Do you have any people who were born today?
The World Series winning Texas Rangers.
Sure. Yes.
Entering their new era.
Today is happy birthday to Nelly.
Oh, solid. No, hand.
A St. Louisan. It is episode 1684. On today's show, folks, big show. Big show. We got the top 10 Texas high school football games for week 11 of the Texas high school football season. We'll be joined by the head coach of the Celina Bobcats, Bill Elliott, will join us live ahead of their big game against Frisco Panther Creek coming up this week. And then the picks, my high school football predictions for week 11, the final week of the regular season here on Texas Football Today. Do we have first four through the door?
Yes.
Oh, no.
We do. I was trying to text you to text me coach's number.
As
we produce on the fly here. But first four was jersey number 69, Big Jiggly Water Balloons, Aaron Arbuckle, and Daniel Agnew. Welcome in, friends. You just keep winning.
Oh, my gosh. It's just this could not be a better day. Really, truly. It's just big day. All right. Pickle. The final week of the Texas high school ball regular season is here. It is upon us. A lot of games tonight. And there are a lot of games that are have major implications. We've got an article up on TexasFootball.com about the win and in games. And so, but these are not those. There are some implications in some of these games, but I just want to go for the bangers. These are the games, the best games of the week. My picks for the top 10 Texas high school football games of the week. Let's go to the graphic. We will start, believe tonight? Tonight.
Yes.
In Melissa, Coach Kenny Deal Stadium, as the Lovejoy Leopards visit the Melissa Cardinals for the District 7-5A Division II crown. Is a top 10 matchup in 5A Division II. I mentioned this in the picks video, so I won't spoil it. But like these are two programs that like because they're in my opinion a lot better than the rest of their district. We just haven't talked about in like 7 weeks.
No.
But suddenly they're going to come and line it up. What I'm very interested in is can Lovejoy slow down the running game for Melissa with Nathan Odejokun? And how does Melissa's secondary match up with what is still one of the very best receiving corps in the state with Lovejoy, with Dalen McCutcheon, Jalen Lott, etc., with Hondo Franklin slinging the ball? Fantastic game there, Melissa and Lovejoy. Then let's go out east. 7 o'clock Friday night in Timpson. The District 11 2A Division I title is on the line. It is one of two matchups of unbeatens across the state of Texas as the number 9 Garrison Bulldogs take on the number 1 Timpson Bears. Garrison very quietly putting together a 9-0 run for Coach Brandon Alvarez's squad. Their 1-2 punch at the running back spot with a Marion Raspberry and Javian Black is scary. Almost 12 yards a carry, nearly 4 touchdowns per game combined between them. They are awesome, and their defense is giving up just 8 points per game. This is their biggest test of the year because it's the number 1 team in the state, and you know what they're about. Terry Bussey's been great, but do not overlook guys like J.J. Barner and Amari Bruton. This Timpson team is serious, and a 10-0 season would be a huge feather in the cap for Timpson. I believe it would clinch. Let me make sure about this. You're listening to live coverage of me looking something up. This would be Timpson's 4th consecutive undefeated regular season, which would mean that Terry Bussey never lost a regular season game if they win this game. Keep an eye on that one.
Who's the last person to do that? Kyler?
Regular season?
Yeah.
I'm sure there have been other teams that have done 4 straight. Like, I wouldn't care, but it's certainly an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Certainly if they could do that, but a big challenge for them as they take on Garrison. Then let's go to the Houston area in Humble. Another kind of under the radar matchup as the number 11 Humble Atascocita Eagles take on the number 9 Humble Summer Creek Bulldogs. Now this is a really interesting matchup for a number of reasons. But one of the reasons it's not an interesting matchup is that there's nothing on the line here. This is only bragging rights, unbiased bragging rights, but it's a huge, huge, huge game. Atascocita looking to bounce back after getting drilled last week by North Shore. Zion Brown has been sensational overall, their quarterback, but this is a very different test against a Summer Creek team that is going to lean on their defense, led by Xavier Atkins. This is a game, and then, by the way, they got an outstanding running back in Lloyd Avant. This team is really special, the Summer Creek team, and I am interested. I think that they are on that short list, depending on where Katy goes. They're certainly on that short list of Division II, Region 3 contenders, and I want to see if they can take down Atascocita. A fascinating matchup here between Summer Creek and Atascocita for HISD bragging rights. Not a ton on the line as far as playoff implications are concerned, but a huge, huge game regardless.
Live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
How about that? Then let's go to Frisco. We will be talking with the head coach of the Celina Bobcats here in a moment, the number 2 Celina Bobcats, as they visit Frisco Panther Creek. The District 7-4 Division I title is on the line, and you want to talk about a disparity in pedigree. Celina, one of the most decorated programs in Texas high school football. They are 9-0. They are rolling. They have been fantastic. Their quarterback, Knox Porter, has been great. Pair of running backs in Logan Gutierrez and Harrison Williams. And their defense is always very stout, especially against the run. Then you have Frisco Panther Creek, who is in their second varsity season, I believe. And Panther Creek has been absolutely spectacular with quarterback Braxton Roberts and Christian Trickett. They throw the ball all around. This is Christian Trickett, one of the more underrated receivers in the state. He's got more than 20 touchdowns on the year. He has been exceptional. The question is going to be, can they have balance to make this Celina defense work? That's the real question that I've got in mind. So Celina and Panther Creek, huge game. We'll talk with the head coach, Bill Elliott, coming up here in just a moment. Then let's go to the coast. They're in Ganado as the Ganado Indians take on the Refugio Bobcats in a really intriguing matchup and for a district championship. We haven't talked a ton about Ganado, but they are 8-1 entering this game, and they have been really stout defensively. Defense has been excellent, and they've got a quarterback. The junior quarterback, Bryce Ullman, has been really fun to watch. He's got a big kind of like great group of receivers there. Guys like Landon Hicks, guys like Austin Pena. They are very young. All these teams, this team is almost entirely comprised of underclassmen. But they're taking on Refugio, a team that is the number 2 team in the state for a reason. They have that one loss back to Hitchcock back in non-district play. But since then, they have been absolutely rolling. And what I love about this Refugio team is that they have a number of different ways that they can beat you. You know about Ernest Campbell, but they have so many different weapons on that team that they can get out in space. Can Ganado contain the speed of Refugio? That's the real question in this one.
I'm interested to see the line play here, too, because that's what Refugio's line was so young last year. That's what needed to take that step forward, and Ganado's pretty big up front.
Yeah, most certainly. Keep an eye on that one. Then let's go out east to Tyler as a top 10 matchup in 4A Division I as the Chapel Hill Bulldogs welcome in the Kilgore Bulldogs in a game that has become kind of a real, like, these two teams have become to know each other really well. They played twice last season, and Chapel Hill beat Kilgore twice last season, but this is a very hot Kilgore team. They're on an 8-game winning streak. Remember, they lost the opener in a close one to Carthage, but since then they have been rolling, and they look excellent. Quarterback Derek Williams has been very good. P.J. Wiley, Jaden Sanders have been excellent, as he had a kickoff return for a touchdown last week. And one of the things about Kilgore, they have one of the very best secondaries in 4A, taking on a Chapel Hill squad that had that kind of surprising loss to Lindale, but got their wheels back on recently. Demetrius Brisbane, their quarterback, Ricky Stewart, their running back. A lot of this is going to come down to the defense for Chapel Hill, because that's what's ultimately going to tell the tale. And what I'm interested in this one is Kilgore's a big physical ball club, and Chapel Hill has had trouble with big physical ball clubs. Lindale did it to him. Bernie did it to him. Can Kilgore bully them, or will Chapel Hill stand up in the trenches? Keeping an eye on that one out east. Top 10 matchup, Chapel Hill and Kilgore.
Live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Then Let's go to the Golden Triangle. Down in Silsbee. And if you are into prospects, do I have the game for you? Mm-hmm. The District 9 4A Division II title is up for grabs, at least a share of it for Jasper, as the Jasper Bulldogs visit the Silsbee Tigers. And this game has got dudes. Okay, so Jasper does have 3 losses, but they're all three pretty decent losses. And they are starting to find their way. And I think that Kendrick Crumity squad is really rounding into form. That's one thing that I think is impressive about them. They are getting better as the season goes on. They're big and physical and mean and play tough defense. How do they handle the athleticism and playmaking ability of Silsbee with, of course, Draylon Miller, but also Ashton Cartwright, Trey Kibbles? This team is absolutely loaded. Furthermore, I want to see Tyanthony Smith, the outstanding linebacker for Jasper. How do they utilize him against this kind of wide-open Silsbee team? Very interested in watching him. He's one of the very best players in the state. Jasper and Silsbee, a huge game down there in Southeast Texas. Then, how about a little 6-man action as a top 10 matchup for a district title is on the line as the number 1 Benjamin Mustangs visit the number 10 Kroll Wildcats in a matchup for the District 6 1A Division II crown. We talk about Benjamin a lot. They got Grayson Rigdon. He's Superman. He's the best player in 6-man football. That's not really an opinion. Kroll does have the 1 loss on the year. Back in non-district play, they lost to Knox City, who's the number 2 team in 1A Division 1. But since then, they have been rolling, and I think Mitchell Parsley, who's still a very young man, because I covered him in Texas when I was here at this job, this team has been very strong since then, and I think that they are going to have an opportunity to give Benjamin a run. Specifically, I think their defense has been playing very well of late. They've got Austin Hernandez, their running back, who they're going to lean on, and Angel Escalante, who I think is a playmaker as well. Keep an eye on this one. Big top 10 matchup in 1A Division II, number 1 versus number 10 in Benjamin and Kroll. Then, let's go to the Valley. The other matchup of unbeaten, 7 o'clock tomorrow night at Bobby Lackey Stadium in Weslaco as the San Benito Greyhounds take on the Weslaco Panthers for the District 32 6A crown, and it's a chance for an undefeated regular season. San Benito's last undefeated regular season was in 2017. Pickle, do you know the last time Weslaco had an undefeated regular season?
I do not.
1991.
Wow.
So it would be a huge move here for Roy Stroman's bunch, who we had on the program a couple weeks ago, if they were to get this. What I love about this game is that these two teams look like they're looking in a mirror. Both teams are built exactly the same. They want to play great defense, and they have a bell cow running back. For San Benito, it's Fabian Garcia. He's got 1,300 yards, 17 touchdowns on the year. And for the Weslaco, we talked with Coach Stroman about this a couple weeks ago, Elias Rodriguez Jr., almost 10 yards a carry, 19 touchdowns on the year. He has been a stud. Who is able to come up with those 1 or 2 plays to put their team over the top? This is going to be, I think, a really fun, physical, old-school matchup down there, Weslaco and San Benito. Last but certainly not least, let's go to the Big Country. Top 10 matchup in 4A Division I as the Stephenville Yellow Jackets welcome in the number 10 ranked Waco La Vega Pirates for at least a positioning game. And for La Vega, I believe they can still clinch a share of the district championship, and depending on how things break, they could China Springs idle, so they could force a 3-way tie if they were to beat Stephenville, and then who knows what the tiebreakers are. This is a La Vega team that we had some concerns about early, especially they lose to Waco Connolly, and then they lose to Midlothian Heritage. They were at 1 and 2, but they've really very quietly gotten their wheels back on. And I think one of the things that you got to give credit to that coaching staff for is that they have really figured out exactly who they are offensively. And I think that's a huge credit to what they've been able to do. Specifically, they have found an answer at the quarterback spot. I think they've run the ball. They've run the ball very well with Bryson Rowland. They've given him the ball a lot, and they have found an answer at the quarterback spot. The defense leaves a little bit to be desired, and that's a real question going up against Tate Maruska and Ryan Gafford and this outstanding offense for Stephenville. Plus, the Stephenville defense has been excellent as well. Fascinating matchup, and for Stephenville, they can clinch an outright district championship. For La Vega, they can force a 3-way tie if they get this win. So a huge game down there in that district. So keep an eye on that one. La Vega and Stephenville. Of course, you can catch whip-around coverage of the biggest games across the state of Texas, live, free, everywhere, 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night on TexanLive.com. Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. It's going on tomorrow night, Friday night. Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. It is it's a good show, and it's the regular season finale, so make sure you tune in for that. It's a heckin'
good time.
It's a heckin' good time. I don't love you cursing, but that's okay. We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbells. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbells, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Coming up here in just a moment, we'll talk with Coach Bill Elliott of the Celina Bobcats heading into their regular season finale against Frisco Panther Creek. But Pickle, there's a big pedigree disparity between Celina and Frisco Panther Creek. You know what doesn't have a pedigree disparity?
These ads.
These ads.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
I feel like busting loose, busting loose. Come on, get on up. Oh yeah, get on up. Busting loose when you wanna sing. Busting loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about busting loose, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Pickle, let's go to the hotline. There's a ton of huge games in the final week of the regular season in the Texas high school football world. One of them is for the District 7 4A Division I crown. Let's go to the hotline, and we're pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Celina Bobcats, Coach Bill Elliott. Coach, how are you?
I'm great, man. How are y'all?
I'm doing excellent. How are things in Celina?
Great. Beautiful day. Great day for football.
Absolutely. It is a great day for football as you guys take on Frisco Panther Creek tonight. I want to ask you about the growth of this team. This is a program that I know in the early going, there was some concern. Not concern, that's too strong. You needed some young guys to step up. Let's put it that way.
Yes, it's always that way. Every year when you start out, and I think my 31 seasons in Celina, every year we get through the year and everybody looks around, the whole community looks around and goes, oh my gosh, who's going to take so-and-so's place, and that's what's been so great about Celina. I think over the years, the tradition and legacy here is somebody steps up. We've had two young running backs who've really stepped up and done an excellent job, and very proud of both those guys, and Logan Gutierrez and Harrison Williams, and just the outstanding regular season they've had so far.
You mentioned that, and it's so remarkable, even from the outsider's perspective, is like you look up and then there's two guys you've never heard of who are suddenly like playing like all-state guys. Is that just now, is that the expectation there in Celina that we got some questions, but we know that the pedigree and the history of this program shows that we're going to figure it out?
Yeah, I mean, it is and it isn't, because as a coach, you always worry, and like I said, I've been here for so long and I've seen that happen so many times. A lot of our younger coaches, haven't, seen that so much. And so they're all, in panic mode last spring and during the summer. And a lot of our townspeople are. But, that's when you're in a program that's so rich in tradition and so rich in legacy, that's been able to be consistent, not just have a good year every now and then, but be consistent year in and year out to be relevant. You kind of understand that that's what's going to take place. And the kids understand that. They understand that expectation. There's a lot of expectation on them in Celina, not just in everything that Celina does. We just won state and band last night, down in San Antonio. Our band, they repeated. That's 2 in a row for them. And our girls are going to state Saturday and cross country. It's just an expectation in Celina that you're supposed to compete at a very high level of whatever you're doing. And so that's what makes it a great place to coach. I mean, it's pressure, but it's also, I would hate to be in any place that didn't have that pressure.
Bill Elliott, the head coach of the Celina Bobcats, joined us here. I want to go back, Coach, to it's now 2 months ago against Anna.
Yes.
And that's a team that had bedeviled you guys last year, and you guys play an instant classic with them and get a 4 overtime win, 42-40. What did that win do for you guys right as you guys were entering district play?
I think it was a huge catalyst for us. It was our kids were looking forward to that game. They've been looking forward to it last year with them beating us twice last year, once in preseason and once in the playoffs. And, and especially because the history of Anna and Celina and playing for so many years, and it's been 50 years since I think Anna had beat us, and so, that was just something that weighed heavy on our kids, I think, and on our community even. And so to get that game when it came up was just it was one thing they got to bear off their back, I think, because they felt like, that had kind of weighed on them since last year. And it just was a catalyst to push us on into district and then on in hopefully to the playoffs and just the route that we're on right now.
For all the talk about the offense that we've had, when I think of Celina football, I think about defense, and I think about, an aggressive, style of defense, a hard hitting, a defense you don't feel particularly good about after you play them the next day. And I hate to ask you to compare, but when you take a look at this year's defense, what has you excited about this year's particular defense?
I'll tell you, that was one of the areas that as a coaching staff, we were concerned about coming in was our defense. And just because we lost several guys last year off our defense, a couple of defensive linemen that were really good. We lost some secondary guys. There was a lot of areas that we really had to step up in there. And, and that's, our offense kind of at first kind of had to do some things in some games to win games, to help the defense out a little bit. And that's what we want to be, is we want to be a balanced team, a complementary team that complements each other. And our defense has grown so much through this year. They've gotten better and better. And it's, we go one-on-ones, quite a bit in practice at times, and we do like a tempo session or 2-minute session against the first defense. And they were running defense against us yesterday, and our OC standing beside me behind our offense, because I still coach our offensive line over there. And he's a quarterback, he played quarterback in high school, college, and he's looking over, and he goes, "That's miserable." And he knows our defense because he grew up here and he played in our defense too. And, so he knows what it's like. But to sit over there as a quarterback and you see what they're doing, and it's like he said, it's miserable as a quarterback, and it's tough. And so, excited about them and how they've developed. And Coach Ford, Coach Chirac, have done a great job with that defense and helping them develop. And those players have really grown up and just excited about the way they play. And they do. It's very intense, a very attack defense, and that's what we want to do on both sides of the ball.
It's going down tonight as the Frisco Creek Panthers take on the Celina Bobcats for a district championship there at Kirkendall Stadium. Coach, this is a darn good Panther Creek ball club. I don't want to ask you to give away your game plan, but what are you guys going to be up against tonight?
They're very talented. They've got some great skill kids. They've got a couple receivers. Quarterback's very talented. The Braxton kid. I mean, he's. That's the thing. It's the same team pretty much we played last year, but he's a new addition. The Braxton kid is a quarterback. But number 11, the receiver, man, he is very, very talented. The running back's talented, big kid. And Coach Surratt does a great job. I've known him for a long time. He actually lives in Celina, so he coached at Lone Star, then at Princeton, and then going back over to Frisco to Panther Creek. And he's a great person, does a great job with the kids. And so, he'll have them ready to play and he'll have them coached up really well. They'll have some good schemes. We just got to go play Celina football when it comes down to it. We've got to be very physical. We've got to be very fast in everything we do and take that fight to them and attack them with the kind of physical football that we play.
And finally, Coach, and this is for me and me personally, you are in exceptional shape. You are one of the most fit coaches out there. Can you tell? We'll turn off the cameras. It's fine. Can you just tell me your secret?
Man, it's just, I think it's living right. I think, it's just my life, the way I live. I think it just, it's become such a habit for me working out. Long time ago when I was a young coach coming out of college, of course, I weighed 300 pounds coming out of college, and just knowing that I needed to lose that weight and not carry that weight around with me to be healthy for my little boys that I had at that time and my wife, and just to be able to carry on, and really got to getting into working out. And of course, it's easy as a coach to work out because you're in a weight room every day. You're here. And some of my older players back then, a kid named Jamie Blatnick, of course, who went on to play at OSU and then went to the NFL for a few years. And, he's a strength coach at OSU now. He and I started working out together at 5 o'clock in the morning way back, and that kind of spawned a lot of other kids to come. And I was working out with them. We were in the weight room together, and it just kind of grew from there. And I've just kind of maintained that habit, every morning. I'm here. I get here at 3:30 every morning. I'm here early, and I'm working, and I'm in that weight room getting after it, and then we get ready for workouts. We work out at 6, and I've got a bunch of my young coaches that are doing the same thing now, so they're following that in that same track. And my 2 boys work for us now, and they're in the weight room every morning working out. So it's turned into kind of a thing that we all do together. We're in there, getting that workout in, knowing what it does for us as an example for our kids, because our kids see us and they know, hey, coach works out like that. We can too, so I appreciate you noticing me, man. Thanks.
Hey, whatever you're doing, keep it up.
We'll try.
He's Bill Elliott. He's the head coach.
I'm old, dude. I'm getting old. It's getting harder and harder, I promise you, but I'm going to keep it up.
It's Bill Elliott, the head coach of the Celina Bobcats. Coach, appreciate your time. Best of luck tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Appreciate all you do for us, man. Y'all have a great day.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
There he goes. Bill Elliott. Appreciate you noticing. Coach, how could I not notice? That he's jacked.
Oh, yeah, he's huge.
He's jacked.
3:30.
He
had me at 5 a.m. I'm all about that.
5 a.m. My alarm goes off at 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say mine Mallory's. We're always
3:30.
going 5, but 3 and getting there at 3:30.
All right, you
that's
know what?
At least waking up at 3.
All right, I'll just say it. Bill Elliott, he's got that dog in him.
He's got and it's not Step's little weenie dog in him. Like that guy's got a pit bull in him.
He's got that dog in him. We appreciate Bill Elliott. Huge game tonight against Panther Creek. We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Pickle, can I tell you about our friends at TxDOT?
Of course. The
TxDOT Roadshow is rolling into Dave Campbell's Texas Football, rather, is proud to partner with TxDOT this season to roll the TxDOT Roadshow into some of the biggest Texas high school football games across the state. Be sure to look for the TxDOT Roadshow at the game, where fans can participate in VR experiences, interactive video screens, quizzes, giveaways, and much more. TxDOT reminds fans to be careful on the road and follow the speed limits. Slow down when there's heavy traffic, road construction, or bad weather. And always buckle up. This week, Friday night, they're going to be in Andrews for the big game between the Big Spring Steers and the Andrews Mustangs. A critical game for playoff seeding in District 2 4A Division 1. Winner will be the 3rd seed. Loser will have to play a district champion in the first round of the playoffs. So a huge game here. I've got my eye on both running backs here. Jayshawn DuBose, the super sophomore running back there for Andrews, going up against Kavian Ford, the running back for Big Spring. Should be a fascinating game there at the Mustang Bowl in Andrews, and be sure to go swing by the TxDOT Roadshow to see what they've got cooking over there. And now, a word from our friends. Dave Campbell's Texas Football has partnered with the North Texas Honda dealers to honor community helpers from across North Texas. Texas is fortunate to have so many great individuals that give back to their community in so many different ways. Thanks to the support of the helpful North Texas Honda dealers, we have an opportunity to shine a light on a few very deserving individuals. Congratulations to this week's recipients of the Helpful Honda Community Helper Award, and thank you for being helpful in your community. For more information, visit TexasFootball.com. Takis is the presenting sponsor of the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Sustainability Champions Award, spotlighting influential kids looking to pursue a career focused on the social, environmental, and economic well-being of our future. Be sure to check out this week's Spotlight Game of the Week, where we'll be spotlighting 2 Sustainability Champions Award winners. Thank you to Takis for your support of the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Sustainability Champions Award. For more information, visit TexasFootball.com. Pickle, It's the final week of the Texas high school football regular season. And there are massive games all across the state. We put together the picks video, and normally I'll pull back the curtain a little bit. Mm-hmm. Normally the picks video, the big spotlight game, the game we do off the top, we try to make it the biggest game in the state. Mm-hmm. The Week 11 one, maybe a little bit different. Here it is. My predictions for Week 11 of the Texas high school football season here on Texas Football Today.
It's the final week of the Texas high school football regular season, and for a lot of teams across the state, it's all on the line. These are the picks. Welcome into the picks, your guide to the Texas high school football weekend. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and it's hard to believe we're here, right? The final week of the 2023 Texas high school football regular season. The playoffs start next week. You can find everything you need at TexasFootball.com/playoff. Brackets, pairings, predictions, everything. But still one more week to go and a lot to decide. Plenty of teams have already locked things up, right? Teams that have won their district championship, Week 11, we'll see what happens. Others, it all comes down to this. Others, they're deciding their fate and whether or not they're going to be playing next week or blowing up basketballs. That is the true beauty of Week 11 of the Texas high school football season. We get to unwrap the present of the brackets on this weekend, but first we've got a lot to decide. There's huge games everywhere you look. We start in the Panhandle. 7 o'clock Friday night at Antelope Stadium in Abernathy. It is a critical 3A showdown as the Coahoma Bulldogs visit the Abernathy Antelopes. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number one, a matter of pace. This is one of those games where you could take the final score, strip away the teams, and I could tell you who won based on how many points are scored, because these are two teams that want to play in a different style. For Coahoma, they want to get up and down. They want this game to get into the 30s or the 40s. Quarterback Boyd Cox has been very good. They've got a big-time running back in Jaden Vineyard. They're going to want to keep this ball rolling and keep the score up. They're going up against an Abernathy team that wants to win with defense and relatively low scoring. They want to keep this game in the 20s thanks to their linebacker Jackson Hole. I think this game ultimately comes down to pace. Who sets the pace in this game? If this is going, if this is a shootout, Coahoma's got a huge advantage. But if Abernathy can slow this thing down, I think they've got an advantage. So, who sets the pace in this game? Key number two, Ana Rolando. Let's talk about one of the stars of this Abernathy team, and it's running back Rolando Martinez, who has hit another gear recently. A couple weeks back, when Abernathy upset state-ranked Littlefield, it was because of Martinez, who had an unbelievable game, 5 touchdowns on the ground, well over 200 yards. He has been a revelation for this running attack for Abernathy, which has been a little bit inconsistent this year, but lately he's been very good. It's going to be up to this Coahoma defense, led by Nick Tuttle, to find a way to slow down Martinez and company. So, will Rolando Martinez continue to keep rolling, or the Coahoma defense have an answer? And key number three, under pressure. Why am I spotlighting this game? I mean, these two teams are combined 9-9 on the season. Certainly there's state-ranked matchups across the state of Texas that I could be spending my time talking about in this big segment, right? Well, this game is particularly interesting because of the implications that it has for the playoffs. You see, District 4 3A Division 2 is a mess. All right, you've got Idalou at the top. They've already clinched the district championship. They're cruising, feeling pretty good going into this week. But then you've got 4 teams all playing one another, all at 2-2 in district, all of whom control their own destiny. This is one of those games. Littlefield and Lubbock Roosevelt will play in the other one, but Abernathy and Coahoma are in a win-and-in situation. The winner of this game is going to the playoffs. Now, there is a situation for each of these teams, depending on how the other game goes, that they could get in with a loss. But make no mistake, these coaches are not talking about that. They're talking about going out there, controlling your own destiny, getting the win. You don't want to limp into the playoffs. That's what's so important about this game and what's so fascinating, because with those implications comes a lot of pressure. The playoffs are coming early to Abernathy America, and Coahoma and Abernathy are playing for their chance to survive and advance. So, who handles the pressure better? Who am I picking? I'm going with Abernathy. The Antelopes get the nod here at home because of their defense. As you get later in the season, I start to trust teams with defense more. That's where Abernathy has the advantage, led by linebacker Jackson Hole. Furthermore, I think that running game with Rolando Martinez is really starting to come on at the right time. Now, I do think that there's a clear path for Coahoma, and it is to get this game into a shootout. I do not think that Abernathy can keep up offensively if this game gets up into the 30s. So for Boyd Cox, and I think Austin Perkins on the outside, a real X factor in this game, hit some big plays early and make Abernathy chase. They are not built for that. But in the end, I like the Abernathy Antelopes at home to clinch a playoff spot. Give me the Antelopes. Let's go to the DFW Metroplex, 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Coach Kenny Deal Stadium in Melissa. It is a state-ranked matchup for the District 7 5A Division II crown as the Melissa Cardinals welcome in the Lovejoy Leopards. This is a really interesting situation that we run into every once in a while, where you've got two teams that are, in my opinion, a lot better than the other teams in their district, but they play late in the year, and as a result, you kind of go 2 months without thinking about them. That's kind of what's happened here with Lovejoy and Melissa. You know, Melissa ran through their first two opponents and looked every bit the part of a state championship contender. They've just kind of been doing that same thing. Running back Nathan Ojokun's been great. Quarterback Trevor Ham, defensive lineman Nigel Smith, big-time wide receiver Carson Maynard. This team is loaded, and they look like the #1 team in the state. Lovejoy lost early in the season, and then they kind of went through district play, and they've kind of been rolling. And I love what this offense has really become. Quarterback Alexander Franklin has been outstanding, and I still think they have one of the best receiving corps in the state, led by Dalen McCutcheon and Jalen Lott. What's fascinating about this game is which team can wake up for their first big game in months. Right? It's been about 6 weeks since either of these teams have really been challenged, but suddenly a huge challenge is showing up on the doorstep for a district championship right before the playoffs. Who wakes up in time? I think Melissa at home is the favorite here. I love the balance they have offensively, and I think their defense comes up with a couple of big plays. Give me the Cardinals. Let's go to the Woods, 7 o'clock Friday night at Eakin Stadium in Timpson. It is a state-ranked matchup of unbeatens as the Timpson Bears welcome in the Garrison Bulldogs, and a district title hangs in the balance here for the #1 team in the state, hoping to avoid an upset at the hands of a very good Garrison ball club. I like this Garrison team a lot, and it feels like this is their moment. The running game is what you need to know about them. They have this two-headed monster in the backfield with Amarian Raspberry and Javian Black. It's averaging like 260 yards and almost 4 touchdowns per game between them. They are outstanding, and they have a clear idea of what they want to do with this game. They want to lean on their outstanding defense, which has been so good all year long, and grind out long drives and keep this Timpson offense on the sideline, because we know what Timpson's about, right? They've got the reigning Mr. Texas Football Player of the Year in Terry Bussey, but they've also got a number of other playmakers like Amari Bruton and J.J. Garner. Their balance is what makes them really scary. I like Timpson in this one. Garrison is undefeated, but I'm not sure they've seen a team the caliber of Timpson this year, and that's what I think is the difference. I think being at home helps as well. I think the Bears finish off an undefeated season. And let's go to the Valley, 7 o'clock Friday night at Bobby Lackey Stadium in Weslaco. It's a matchup of unbeatens for the District 32-6A crown as the San Benito Greyhounds visit the Weslaco Panthers. Only one of 2 matchups of unbeatens across the state. Garrison Timpson, one of them. This one is the other one down there in the RGV, and this is a fascinating matchup because these two teams are kind of looking in the mirror. You say that the bell cow running back has gone the way of the dodo, but I do not think that is the case down here with these two teams. You know, San Benito's got an unbelievable running back themselves in Fabian Garcia. He has been outstanding. Weslaco's got a great running back in Elias Rodriguez Jr., both of whom are absolute bell cow backs. They're going to hand the ball off to them 25 times, 30 times in this game and let them grind it out. That plays into their defense as well, which is hard-nosed and sturdy. That's what's fascinating about this game, is that these two teams are really looking in the mirror who matches up better. I like San Benito for a couple of reasons. One, they've won the last 4 against Weslaco, so history is on their side. The other thing is I think quarterback Aaron Corona is an X factor. I think his ability to give them a little bit of balance puts the Greyhounds over the top. Give me San Benito. But those are far from the only big games in the final week of the Texas high school football regular season. Let's get to the lightning round. Port Arthur Memorial bounces back with a win over Kingwood Park. Sonora polishes off a perfect regular season with a win over Forsan. And give me Pottsboro to take down Mount Vernon. Midland takes down Odessa Permian. I like Mason over Harper. And give me Willis to stay hot with a win over Conroe Oak Ridge. I like Sherilyn Pioneer over PSJA Memorial. Windthorst keeps it rolling with a win over Electra. And another state-ranked matchup out east. I like Kilgore over Chapel Hill. I'm going with Anna over Sulphur Springs. Munster gets by Celeste. and Iowa Colony wins their first district championship with a win over Needville. Give me Celina over Frisco Panther Creek. I like San Antonio Piper just barely over Liberty Hill. And way out west, I like El Paso Riverside over El Paso Bowie. In the Panhandle, I like Wellington over Clarendon. In Central Texas, I like Dawson over Wortham. And down in the Golden Triangle, I like Silsbee over Jasper. Hallettsville edges out Yoakum. La Villa takes down Freer. And down in the Houston area, I like Atascocita over Summer Creek. I'm going Johnson City over Stockdale. Give me Bridgeland in a close one over Cy Springs. And up in DFW, I'm going with Prosper over McKinney. Dangerfield and Harmony have quite a history lately. I think Dangerfield gets the win this time. Give me Panhandle to take down Farwell. And I'm going with Lovelady over Deweyville. I like Agua Dulce over Bruni. Give me Marlin to take down Valley Mills. And huge week in San Antonio. I like Brennan over Jay. Big rivalry matchup in DFW. I like Euless Trinity over LD Bell. Give me Belton in a close one over Waco University. And how about Stephenville over Waco La Vega? I think Tenaha knocks Overton from the ranks of the unbeatens. Give me Dalhart over Muleshoe. And San Antonio Wagner beats New Braunfels Canyon. I like Franklin over Little River Academy. Bowling takes down Wallace Brazos. And another huge game in the Rio Grande Valley. I like McAllen over McAllen Memorial. On the coast, I like Refugio over Ganado. In Laredo, I like United over Alexander. And in San Antonio, I like Harlan over Taft. I think Midlothian gets an upset win over Red Oak. In Abilene, I like Wiley over Cooper. And give me Sinton to take down Ingleside. I like El Paso Del Valle over El Paso Bel Air. And Montgomery Lake Creek finishes perfect with a win over Brenham. Forney edges out Tyler. And in our six-man game of the week, it's a good one. I like Benjamin over Kroll. And those are the picks. What am I wrong about? Which games did I leave out? Leave comments down below. Don't forget that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbells. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbells. And of course, see us at TexasFootball.com, where you can find complete coverage of the 2023 Texas High School Football Playoffs. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the final week of the regular season. We'll see you.
There it is, the picks, my high school football predictions for week 11. Of course, as always, I guarantee I got at least one of those right. And I guarantee that I made at least one coach mad. Or, no, that's not true. Claude Mathis was mad. Claude Mathis was thrilled I picked against DeSoto.
I was just going to say.
So that's not true. I apologize. I retract that.
Very well edited.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic editing job on that.
Great job, Mallory Hartley, our chief editor on the picks.
I edited them.
Yeah, I know. You pulled... You're slumming it with us. You know, you come down from your corner office to...
I'm sorry, my cubicle?
Yeah. Anyway.
It did feel weird being back. Didn't like it.
You can find that on YouTube, so go check that out. Let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment, Final Thoughts.
Coming up at 2 o'clock today, Women Talking Football, WTF. We're breaking down Beast, Texas, and the Piney Woods. We're lumping them together so that way people can't get mad at us. Cool. Really, it's just because we ran out of weeks, but that felt like a natural lump together. We sure do. It is, let me make sure I get her name right, Serenity Douglas, the sports reporter from CBS 19.
Red.
So excited about that. We'll be announcing the Spotlight games on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight as well.
Yep. So check that out, WTF tonight. Today, 2 o'clock. I don't know.
There's no time. It's WTF can happen at any point in time, but specifically today it's at 2.
WTF is more of a vibe than it is an event.
Trust me. It is if you like vibes, it's an entire vibes-based podcast.
So make sure you check that out today. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbells. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbells. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to Celina head coach Bill Elliott for being our guest.
Oh, by the way, you bad shame.
Me? What?
You missed a birthday today.
Whose birthday's today?
Someone in your family. Amanda Tepper.
Today is Amanda's birthday.
I'm assuming because Matt Tepper said you missed your sister-in-law's birthday, so that would equate to that.
Today is Amanda's birthday. Happy birthday, Amanda. I'm sorry. I didn't get a ton of sleep last night. Happy birthday, Amanda. Love you. Thanks to Bill Elliott for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please meet your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.